All right, Powerhouse Hobbs, it's great to have you back in the Bay Area.
Appreciate it.
EPA zone, East Palo Alto to be exact.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, great opportunity for you this weekend. What's it like coming back home?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, amazing. Like, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because it's one of those things like, it's like a dream, and it's hard to wake up from it. But I tell everybody, man, when I perform in the Bay, it's just, everything's just on a different level for me,
And then this is your third or fourth time now?
Yeah, out here in California, yeah, especially in the Bay Area.
What's it been like coming back, and do you almost feel like a celebrity now coming back here?
I do. People know when we're in town, when I'm walking on the streets, they be like, hey, Powerhouse, we can't wait to see you. And it catches me off guard, but just the Bay's different. You know that. We got a different swag than everybody else. I mean, you saw what Curry did last night, representing the Bay, dropping 56, Well, I'm about to drop some heavy bombs tomorrow night when we're in Oakland.
And then as far as tomorrow night, I heard that you're main eventing tomorrow.
Yes.
Who are you going to be main event against? And I'm pretty sure it's pretty common now being a main event guy, but being back home in main event, it probably feel a little bit different.
It is. I mean, the company trusts me. So, I got my partner, Bandito. We're taking on Big Bill and Brian Keith. And I've been chasing Big Bill all over the world, Brisbane, Australia, Jacksonville, Florida, last week in Phoenix, Arizona. So I might as well give him a little something back home, a little treat for everybody. So,
as far as family now, I gotta assume you probably got a boatload of tickets for family coming for tomorrow, right?
I got the whole clan out with me, man. If they step out of line, I can't guarantee a few aunts and uncles and cousins won't jump over the guardrail. So it's gonna be exciting.
Can't wait. But as far as your career starting out, was wrestling something that was always a dream of yours, or it came as a second opportunity? Because I know a lot of guys who transition from like football or another sport to wrestling, but was wrestling always your number one goal?
It was always a dream. Before I was even thought about, wrestling was on in my household. My grandparents would always go watch shows at the Cow Palace. My dad did that, my mom did that, and by the time I came along, I just remember watching it and just knowing. It's a little cliche knowing that this is what I want to do, but, being in the ring and having matches and, some of the OGs, the veterans tell, you were meant to do this. It was like, yeah, I'm here to do this. So it's one of those things that I feel one of my purposes on this earth was to be a pro wrestler, along with other things.
That's a perfect segue to my next question. Name some of the vets that you got to work with that gave you some great advice being in this business.
Oh, man, I look at Billy Gunn, Dean Malenko, some of our vets right now. He's probably not a big fan of mine, because I had to lay it down on him, but Chris Jericho, So a lot of the guys I grew up watching, have been very instrumental in my career, so.
Who are some of the wrestlers that you watched growing up that inspired you to get into the business?
Oh, man, hands down, The Rock is one of them, him being from the Bay.
Hayward?
Hayward zone, not too far from here.
Yeah.
There's so many guys that I can name. It's just, it's a lot, man.
Is there anybody that's in AEW or just any company in general in the wrestling business that you would love to work with at some point?
I definitely want my rematch against Jon Moxley, the current AEW World Champion. I had a title shot against him in his hometown, Cincinnati, and him and his crew got the best of me. So I want my title shot.
And how long have you been in the business since you started joining the professional ranks?
I had my first match in 2010, so it's been quite a journey for me.
And as far as the business goes, do you see yourself doing this for, I know guys like Hulk Hogan that's done it decades, but it's not like The Rock who's done it probably 7 or 8 years, who does, occasionally a WrestleMania or a main event here and there. Do you see yourself doing this that long like a Hulk Hogan, or you can see yourself possibly going to Hollywood like The Rock?
As of right now, my goal is to be the best in this business. That's my main focus right now. Who knows what the future may hold, but as of right now, my main goal is to take over this business.
I like that. I like the sound of that. Now, let's get back to family. Has there ever been a moment where you're talking to whether it's your mom or dad or brother, sister, or a cousin that's like, oh my God, I can't believe I saw you on TV? Like, have you ever had those kind of
I
moments?
get that every week. every week is somebody hitting me up. I had some family in Tupelo, Mississippi get a hold of me that I didn't know it was family that was hitting me up. So every week I'm getting that, and it's real humbling. Like it lets me know that, okay, I'm doing the right thing, and you know, I'm glad I didn't have I didn't just, push this goal, push this life dream aside.
And then being in the AEW business, I want to know, and then I don't want to ever speak about any other company, but is there a particular dream match? Like, it could be somebody, I know you obviously want to get John back, but is there somebody that's like a dream match? Like, man, if I could have God just put this wrestler in the ring with me one single time, who would that be?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one because my main goal is to be the AEW World Champion. To bring that championship to the Bay. We've had NBA champions, NFL champions. But we haven't had a AEW World Champion. So that's my goal right now is to get that title.
I love the answer. Now, as far as being in AEW,
I know you got one. You about to hit me with a tough one. I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
because I don't like speaking on other companies. It just makes it awkward because I know you got to represent yours. But being in the AEW, do you kind of carry this chip on your shoulder? Because I know you had to go through this a couple of times, walking around, somebody asks you a question, and it's reference to another company that you're not a part of. Does that kind of create that chip on your shoulder?
No, I mean, I can't speak for any other company. I only can speak for the company that I work for, and my current goals are for this company. So it doesn't create a chip on my shoulder. I mean, only chip on my shoulder is that I have to be the best, and I take advantage of every opportunity that I get. If I don't see an opportunity, I'm from the Bay, we take what we want. So I'm looking to take opportunities. So, tomorrow night, Oakland Arena, it's a big opportunity live on national TV. We're going to be on HBO Max streaming. All eyes are going to be on me, so it's, I love me some Pac, so I just quoted some, but I feel this big opportunity when I'm home and, I get this huge spotlight put on me. It's the company looking at me, Tony Khan looking at me, Warner Brothers, so it's all this pressure that some people may fold under, but I don't fold under pressure. Like I said, I'm from the Bay, from East Palo Alto. We do things different, so.
Yep, carry that on your back.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah. Now, has there ever been someone in the business that you got to work with, whether it's a Chris Jericho or somebody like Billy Gunn, that's gave you a great compliment that you'll never forget, that you'll carry for the rest of your career?
Man, there's been a few. Remember having a match, and probably is when I won the TNT championship in Sacramento. Coming through the curtain with the belt, and you have the vets that have been in this business for 20, 30 plus years, just standing up, looking at you, nodding your head, and that's a great feeling right there.
And then, being somebody that's from the Bay, because we're from America, and I noticed that in wrestling, some of the best guys come from Canada. So what was it like kind of going through the journey that you were on to get to this point? Because I have to ask, how did you even get to this point? Because it's kind of interesting, you're being from the Bay. We don't have a lot of guys who are from the Bay that's in the wrestling business. So you're almost an anomaly. So, what was the journey like for you to get to this point?
It was rough, man. Training out here, then driving from Oakland down to L.A. and driving back up the same day, having to be at work at 6 a.m. or driving to Vegas, or somewhere in Oregon. It was a long journey, and I think most people would have folded, not getting looks. But in 2020, I had the the opportunity during the pandemic to fly out to Jacksonville, not knowing what was going on. I just got laid off from work. Am I still chasing this dream, or what's going to happen? And I do what I have to do. I knocked it out the park, and this is where I am now.
It was a tryout.
I wouldn't say it was a tryout. It was like, hey, there's an opportunity for you to have a match. And anybody that knows my career at AEW, my very first match lasted 12.36 seconds. And there's not a whole lot you can do in 12.36 seconds. So I did what I had to do in that time, and it caught some interest.
Where were you working before getting this opportunity?
I was working at Facebook and Instagram. So, I like to thank them for letting me go because I am where I am. But, it was one of those things like, I remember being let go and applying for different jobs, because my daughter was about to be born at the time, and wherever I could get the income, to support my family, that's where I was looking to get a job, and it wasn't in God's plans for me to do something else. It was just sit back, wait. This opportunity came, and I'm here now.
That's amazing. And then you went to high school where?
I went to Sequoia High School.
And then what about college-wise? Did you do college wrestling?
I did.
As well?
No, I didn't do college wrestling. My main thing for me was football, basketball, baseball. My big mama and papa kept me busy. Didn't want me running around in the streets. I'm sure you know this, when the street lights come on, don't matter if it's daylight savings time, you better get your butt in the house. So I had to do that. But, it was one of those things that, it was meant to be.
And do you feel like getting into the business was almost God's plan, essentially?
Yeah. I really believe it was, because I'm 4 years old, jumping off furniture, doing things, quoting wrestlers, and dressing up like them, and having all the action figures, and watching these tapes. So it was. I know there's a lot of people out there that do this, but being paid sometimes on the independence scene, get maybe $20 and you drove 600 miles. That's very discouraging to someone, but it's part of paying my dues. If I want this dream, I got to chase it.
How long did you do that?
Oh man, I was doing that for 8-9 years,
Wow.
Still holding down a job, still being a dad. So it's one of those things, you can't help what you love. I can't help but love this, because it's created so many opportunities for myself. I've got to see the world. It's created so many opportunities for my children. So I'm blessed. I got to keep on pushing.
I heard that you were dealing with a leg injury last year. What was the recovery process like?
Man, I ruptured my patella tendon, and a normal recovery for that is 8 to 12 months. I did that in about a little over 4.5 months. So a week after surgery, I was in the gym, did that Monday through Friday, was in rehab 3 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, so it's, you got to look at the guys that have came back from injuries and look how well their career went. So my job was to train and get better and pick up where I left off times 10.
For any kids or fans that come by tomorrow night who have never heard of AEW, who are living under a rock, what can they expect tomorrow?
Man, first of all, you better get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com or AEWTix.com, and just expect a great show, a lot of oohs and ahs, things you've never seen before. We have the greatest athletes in the world doing things that you could only dream of or you see in a video game. So we're going to show out. I've sent text messages to people on the card. You're like, you better step your game up, because the Bay's going to let you know how they feel. If you ain't performing, they're going to let you know. So it's a big deal tomorrow night.
And then, man, I see that you're in tip-top shape. What's the training regimen for you to be in this type of form that you're in?
I got to keep my cardio up. Right now, I'm doing a lot of plyometrics, trying to be more agile. The heavy weights are going to come, but, it was a lot of stretching and plyometrics this morning.
Outside of being John for the championship, what is your number one goal to accomplish in this business?
On a mountain by myself. When people think of showmanship, great big men, How this guy made me feel when I got to watch him live or when I'm watching him at home. It's, I want to get all the emotion out of people. I want to be one of the greatest, not one of the greatest black champions, but one of the greatest wrestling champions, period. So I want to be on the mountain by myself. I'm greedy. I want it all, but I want to be on the mountain by myself.
What's your special move? Because your finisher, essentially.
Man, I got the torture rag. Probably my key move is a spine buster, man.
You know what?
I got the blessing from Arn Anderson, who is the GOAT of spine busters. And once he blessed me with that, man, ain't no topping that.
You probably not gonna believe me, but on my soul, I literally said in my head before this interview, his probably best move is the torture rag. So I was right.
I got the okay from Lex Luger. Sting gave me Lex's number. We've been in contact ever since. And for me, just hitting up him, like asking him, can I do your move? I used to practice this on my pillow when I was a kid. And he gave me the okay, and every time I see Lex, he thanks me. And I didn't have to do it, but it's just paying homage to a guy that I looked up to.
Sounds good, man. I don't have any more questions. Anything else you want to tell all the fans in the Bay Area?
Tomorrow night, Oakland Arena. Get your tickets at AEWTix.com. Ticketmaster. Show up, show out. It's going to be loud, man. It's going to be crazy,
Can't wait, man. I'll be seeing you tomorrow night.
You better come, because like I said, man, I may need some help. I may whistle and need you to hop over. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. All right, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.